Hello, this is Opinion Radar. If you're a woman in her 50s, 60s, or beyond, you know how tricky it can be to find swimsuits that make you feel both comfortable and confident. For years, I've dreaded swim season. Either the styles are too juvenile, or they're so frumpy they make me feel invisible. That's why I was intrigued by the Avidlove Swimsuits for Women two-piece Tankini set. Priced at just $27, it promises vintage charm with modern wearability, and honestly, that red, white, and blue print caught my eye like nothing I've seen in years. I didn't expect much at this price point, but sometimes the simplest things surprise us. As someone who values a little nostalgia and a lot of practicality, I wanted to see if this Tankini could deliver on both style and ease, especially for women who aren't trying to turn heads, just enjoy the sun without fuss. So I gave it a try, and what happened next was more delightful than I anticipated. When I first laid eyes on this Avidlove Tankini, I'll admit I was skeptical. At my age, swimwear shopping has become less about fashion and more about function, comfort, coverage, and a little confidence boost without looking like I'm trying too hard. But this retro two-piece, it struck the perfect balance. The halter top gives such a flattering lift, nothing overly push-up, just enough support to feel secure, especially with the adjustable necktie. And the cut of the Tankini top is brilliant. It flows just right over the midsection, gently smoothing without squeezing. I've dealt with that postmenopause belly bulge for years, and let me tell you, this suit actually helps hide it without feeling like I'm stuffed into a compression garment. The boy shorts are another win, offering generous coverage in the hips and rear, which is such a relief when you're bending over to grab a towel or climbing onto a lounge chair. Plus, the fabric has enough stretch to move with me, not against me, whether I'm wading into the pool or walking the boardwalk. I wore this suit to a family 4th of July gathering, and honestly, I felt like I'd time traveled back to the 50s in the best way possible. The red, white, and blue print was vibrant, not faded or dull like some swimwear I've bought before, and it got so many compliments. Not just from my girlfriends, either. My teenage grandson actually said, "Nana, you look cool," which, coming from him, is high praise. The colors pop without being gaudy, and the vintage styling gives it that classic charm that never goes out of fashion. I appreciated that the padding is removable, but I left it in because it gives just the right shape. Natural, not fake looking. As a woman who's lived in her body for decades, I value when a swimsuit enhances without distorting. And while the top stayed secure all day, I did notice that the bottom occasionally needed a little adjustment on a water slide. So if you're planning more active pool time, just know you might want to hold on for safety. But overall, perfect for a relaxed beach day or a lakeside picnic. One thing I'll be honest about is sizing. It's a bit of a toss-up. I usually wear a medium, but based on what I've learned from past online shopping surprises, I went with a large and it fits comfortably. Some might find it runs small. Others say it's true to size. So I'd say measure yourself and consult the chart. I've had suits from other brands gape under the arms or dig into my back, but this one didn't. The fabric felt soft against my skin. No irritation, even after hours in the sun and water. But full disclosure, I didn't notice the ruching detail on the top had one tie loose at first. I was about to mention it, but then I discovered the second tie tucked inside. Once I tied them together, it looked just like the picture, forming a sweet little bow that covered the seam nicely. It was a small thing, but it mattered. It gave the swimsuit that polished, put together look I was hoping for. Now, let's talk durability. I've had suits fall apart after 2 wears, seams splitting, fabric fading, padding shifting. This one, after several uses, it's held up remarkably well. I've worn it in the chlorinated pool and the salty ocean, and the color hasn't faded a bit. The stitching still looks intact, and the fabric hasn't pilled or stretched out. That said, I can see how it might not be for every body type. A friend with a fuller bust tried it on and felt the top didn't offer enough shaping. Hers looked a bit flat and oddly pointed. So if you're AC cup or larger and rely on a swimsuit for lift, you might want to try it on first or check the inserts. But for me, with a more modest frame, it's just right. It's not a control garment, but it smooths just enough to make me feel good. All in all, I'd recommend this Tankini to any woman my age, or really any woman who wants to feel put together, covered, and still stylish at the beach. It's practical for moms, grandmas, or anyone who wants to enjoy the water without worrying about adjusting their suit every 5 minutes. At $27, it's such a steal for how often I've worn it and how good it makes me feel. I've already thought about grabbing another one in a different print. Because let's face it, confidence at this stage of life isn't about showing skin. It's about feeling comfortable in your own. And this suit, it lets me do exactly that. If you're ready to dive into confidence without diving into a one piece, this Tankani might just be your perfect poolside partner. Don't let another summer pass in a suit that doesn't love you back. Like this video and subscribe for more real talk reviews that help you make the right splash.